Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
The Arctic blast is now in progress. That cold air moving into our area right now. Temperatures will dip down into the 20s overnight, and it will feel very cold with the wind chill tomorrow morning. I'll show you.
And breaking news, President Trump renews his fight to withhold full SNAP benefits. When will Americans receive much needed payments?
And deadly confrontation. A police officer is dead, a suspect is injured, and questions are plentiful. We're trying to learn more about what happened at a Garner medical facility.
Snow is falling in the North Carolina mountains. Let's give you a live look at Boone right now, where the flurries are nice and fluffy. If you can make it out there on the camera. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Renee Chu.
Chris Levingood, thanks so much for joining us. Higher elevations could see several inches of snow through Tuesday, as it turns out. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with a look at just how cold it'll get tonight, Elizabeth.
We're going to be seeing temperatures dipping all the way down into the upper 20s to low 30s. I'm trying to take another look at Boone. I think the camera is frozen here. A little bit of sunshine trying to break through a hole in the clouds, but literally 10 minutes ago, huge flakes were falling there on King Street. Excuse me. And they'll continue to see more snow overnight tonight and into early tomorrow morning. We have a freeze warning that goes into effect at 8 p.m. and lasts until tomorrow morning. This is a look at our temperature at about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. 25 in Sanford, 28 Southern Pines, 27 in Goldsboro and South Hill. Kind of hard to imagine since our high temperature yesterday was 77. All of a sudden, we are taking this huge plunge. And we may see a few flurries too, starting at around 10 or 11 o'clock, lasting until around 3 or 4 in the morning. And it's not likely to accumulate. You could see there in Boone that the snow wasn't accumulating on the roads. And certainly it's been so warm that we don't have any chance of accumulation except maybe on some grassy surfaces for an hour or so. Bigger story is the wind chill that we'll see. We're gusting to 17 right now, 21 in Durham and 19 in Rocky Mount and Roxborough. You can take a look here at Zebulon. They have their flags out for Veterans Day for tomorrow. The trees are moving, the flags are moving. It is windy out there and 49 degrees. So kind of uncomfortable with the wind and the chill. Temperatures right now are going to climb on up to around 50 and then dropping pretty rapidly this evening. By midnight, we'll see a temperature of 33, but I'll show you what it will really feel like with the wind chill coming up in just a few minutes.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, we are following some breaking news out of Rocky Mount. A body was found in the Tar River. Rocky Mount police confirmed that to us. This is the scene where that body was found around 9:30 this morning. They say the Rocky Mount Fire Department was called to a rescue incident involving a male floating face down in the river. The Swift Water Emergency Rescue Team was able to recover the body. Police say they are working to identify the individual and determine how this happened, what happened here. Falls Road, they say, is currently closed at Ridge Street because of the investigation, and they say it will remain closed until further notice. We're going to stay on top of this breaking news and bring you any new updates as we get them.
We'll come back to you if you get that update. Thank you, Michelle. More breaking news that we're following. President Trump is again fighting a court order to pay SNAP benefits. This morning, he asked the Supreme Court to block full SNAP benefits for November. The back and forth has kind of created some uncertainty for people who depend on aid. WRAL's Carly Haynes is live in Durham, where recipients are receiving prepackaged meal boxes. Carly, some people a bit confused about what's going on.
Yes, and that is definitely the sense that we're getting as we've been talking to some people out here at the Chicken Hut in Durham. Just about 30 minutes ago, they started giving away free boxed lunches to anybody who shows their EBT card, and we saw a line near the restaurant more than an hour before they actually began. So there is a huge demand for food right now. That is ongoing. And as these SNAP users are refreshing their accounts, waiting to see if they're getting additional funds this month, there is a tug of war that is playing out in the courts. The Trump administration renewed its Supreme Court appeal to try to pause full SNAP benefits this month, and that's after a lower court denied the effort last night. Now, over the weekend, some people in North Carolina did start seeing partial benefits come in, which also came out of a court ruling. The USDA complied with a federal judge's order that the agency pull contingency funds to partially fund SNAP during the government shutdown. The USDA has also said that there could be financial penalties for some states if they don't undo any potential full SNAP benefit payments that have already gone out while this court case plays out. Carly Haynes, WRAL News, live in Durham.
And let's say maybe you're wondering where to get your next meal because of the SNAP situation, or maybe you're in a position to donate to help your neighbors. We have a list of resources for you. It's all in one place. Go to WRAL.com and search the word SNAP.
New at noon, we are working to find out more about what led to a shooting that killed a WakeMed campus police officer and injured the suspected shooter on Saturday. Officer Roger Smith worked for WakeMed for more than a decade. He was beloved across the community. WRAL's Heidi Kirk joins us live from Garner. And Heidi, what questions are you working to answer today?
Renee, we have so many questions. There's really just a lack of clarity overall when it comes to exactly what led up to that shooting here at the emergency department that ultimately killed Officer Smith. Now, you can see a photo of him here yesterday. We talked to people who knew him, and you really just echoed that sentiment. He was beloved. Now, the latest update that we've got from Garner Police is that the suspect in this case, Benji Martin Jr., is still in the hospital as of this morning, recovering from a gunshot wound himself. Now, WakeMed confirmed that a struggle led up to the shooting in the emergency department's lobby. Now, we want to know, what did that struggle look like? Whose gun was used in the shooting? A lot of questions still hanging out there. Now, police say Martin is currently in custody and under medical supervision, but when he is released from the hospital, Martin will be taken to the Wake County Detention Center. Now, we have posed lots of those questions to Garner Police, the SBI, and of course, right here at WakeMed, trying to get those answers. Throughout the day, we are going to be pressing those officials for the answers, and we'll bring you whatever we get in our newscast tonight. Heidi Kirk, WRAL News in Garner.
Raleigh police are trying to find who's responsible for smashing windows and damaging several cars outside an apartment complex. Video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker shows cars with shattered windows over at the Pines of Ashton apartment complex. This is off Holston Drive. Raleigh police say they got the first call about the break-ins around 3 this morning. So far, they do not have any suspects in custody.
And Renee, let's go back to the government shutdown. As lawmakers continue to work to end the shutdown, now in its 41st day, it's already grounding flights. Thousands of delays and cancellations are piling up nationwide. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey spent the morning at RDU, and that's where travelers are feeling the impact.
We're staying on top of the dozens of cancellations and delays here at RDU. You can even see here how there's hardly anyone in the TSA security line because so many flights have been canceled. We'll take you to some video now so you can see.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, some breaking news out of Coral Springs, Florida. A small plane crashed into the backyard of a home. They just had the live picture up. They do not have that picture up anymore, but the crash happened south of an expressway in Coral Springs that's in between Boca Raton and Fort Lauderdale. Officials confirmed that there was a plane crash. They did not say anything about any possible injuries. The plane appeared to clip some trees and take down a fence in somebody's backyard. One of the plane's wheels was also sitting next to that pool in the person's yard as well. Again, unsure of any injuries. If we get any other information on this, we'll bring it to you from the Live Center.
Two big stories this afternoon involving the U.S. Supreme Court. The first involves an effort to overturn a landmark ruling that legalized same-sex marriage. Former Kentucky County Clerk Kim Davis appealed the ruling of the High Court. Davis was sued for refusing to issue marriage licenses based on her religious beliefs. Now, the court declined to hear the case and did not explain the reasoning behind that decision.
And Renee, the Supreme Court will decide whether states may count mail-in ballots received after Election Day. 15 states allow regular mail ballots to be accepted after Election Day. The Supreme Court is already considering other important cases involving voting and elections, and that includes a case challenging the power of the Voting Rights Act to limit discrimination in redistricting. President Donald Trump is pardoning allies who supported his alleged plan to overturn the 2020 election results. And among them are Trump's lawyers, Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell, and his former chief of staff, Mark Meadows. Each person receives full, complete, and unconditional pardons from federal charges. The pardon explicitly states it doesn't apply to Trump himself.
The annual UN Climate Change Summit officially kicked off today in a Brazilian city. COP30 stands for Conference of the Parties, and this is the 30th meeting. This year's climate summit will examine how countries are progressing in the climate goals and future commitments. President Trump withdrew America from the Paris Agreement and declined to send official representation. However, California Governor Gavin Newsom plans to meet with counterparts from around the world to advance clean energy initiatives and to formalize partnerships. The U.S. military carried out another deadly attack against suspected drug boats in the Eastern Pacific. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says 6 people were killed. Hegseth says the strikes were carried out against 2 boats operated by designated terrorist organizations, along with a known narco-trafficking transit route. Hegseth did not disclose which organizations the ship's crews are believed to be affiliated with.
Canada lost its measles elimination status as the country deals with an outbreak, and Ontario is at the center of that. The World Health Organization made the decision after 12 months of uninterrupted transmission. October marked 1 year of continuous transmission of the same measles strain. There have been more than 5,000 cases this year, and that's more than double what the country has recorded in the past 25 years combined. Heavy drinking can cause an earlier and more severe stroke. Researchers defined heavy alcohol use as regularly consuming at least 3 drinks per day, and that's linked to bleeding strokes, more severe brain bleeds, and earlier long-term brain damage. One finding in the study focused on people who drank an average of 3 glasses of alcohol per day. Specifically, these were people who had their brain bleeds on an average of 11 years younger compared to people who were drinking less alcohol.
A nasty storm moved through parts of our area Saturday night. Chris Michaels shows us how this lone storm defied November norms in today's Ask the Meteorologist.
And the thing about weather in November, it's hardly ever normal. There's always something going on, but you don't always count on a severe thunderstorm happening. What happened was it was very warm, very humid over the weekend, and you had an area of low pressure developing east of the mountains, allowing that warmth and humidity to rise to a height of about 30,000 feet. This is a 3D slice of the storm that produced all that damage and hail in parts of Lillington, Anger, and McGee's Crossroads. So it got to 30,000 feet, which in the summertime is not that big a deal. But this time of year, when it's cooler, it got up to a height that really contained a lot of snowflakes and hail in the storm. So what goes up has to come down, and it comes down quickly in the form of what's called a downburst, and it's exactly as it sounds. All that hail and heavy rain comes down, flattens out, so it's that horizontal rain and really strong wind. And you could see that here just near McGee's Crossroads Saturday night. The green, the air going toward the radar site, the red going away, diverging there. So not necessarily a tornado, but it doesn't have to be because it caused a lot of damage. A lot of you were also saying how the storm sounded louder. We're explaining why that's the case in today's edition of Ask the Meteorologist right now on WRAL.com.
As Chris said, a not normal November. We enjoyed highs in the mid-70s over the weekend, and we're swinging the weather pendulum over to the freezing cold enough that it can snow in the mountains.
Yeah, so this is at Ski Mountain, which is in Blowing Rock, and you can see some sunshine right there, but they had a round of snow, enough to cover the ground there, and not just on the ski slopes. I haven't seen them today actually making snow there. They're making snow up at Beach Mountain, and I haven't checked in on Sugar, but they're planning to open not this Friday, but next Friday, and boy, you can see one of the machines out there. They're cruising around out there, but not a whole lot of snow just yet. Still, here's what's coming. We have this disturbance, if you will, kind of rotating counterclockwise. That's going to continue to swing through the mountains overnight and make it across our area. And as it does, it's going to bring us a little bit of snow in the form of some flurries. Temperatures will be cold enough for it tonight. 27 in Durham and Lewisburg, 25 in Sanford, 27 in Goldsboro, 26 in Roanoke Rapids. So we do have a freeze warning that's in effect for tonight all the way through 9 a.m. on Tuesday. So our chances for snow around 10 o'clock, it's about 20% chance. It goes up to 30. And yes, there may be some flurries if you're going to be up in the middle of the night, which I would love to see it, but I just don't think the timing's going to work out for me. This is 5 o'clock, and we're seeing a mix of sun and clouds here. And then by 10 o'clock, we're starting to see a line of snow back to our west. Around midnight, from Raleigh to South Hill to Roxborough, we're seeing it, and then it continues to kind of rotate around. This is 2 a.m. from Clinton to Rocky Mount on up toward Roanoke Rapids, and then by about 3 o'clock, it's over. And then we should see a lot of sunshine for tomorrow. It's breezy for this afternoon. Winds are going to be gusting this afternoon, 27, 28 miles per hour, and that means that it's going to feel especially cold tomorrow. Not only are we going from 77 from the high yesterday to our temperatures in the upper 20s, but with the wind chill, it'll feel like 7 a.m., 20 at 7 a.m., 23 at 8 a.m., and 26 at 9 a.m. So just really, really cold temperatures heading our way. Another look at Zebulon. Of course, the flags there are flying for for Veterans Day, and boy, you can really see them moving around. 49 is our temperature. Winds are west at 14, and we've seen some gusts up to 20-25 miles per hour already. Right now, we're gusting to 21 in Durham and Raleigh, 19 in Rocky Mount and Goldsboro, and 17 in Southern Pines. So definitely breezy out there. Temperatures are anywhere from the mid-40s to low to mid-50s, and that's, a winter feel for us. Our normal high temperature in January is in the low 50s, and our current temperatures, of course, for Apex 49, Raleigh 49, 48 in Gardner. So it's chilly out there, 25 degrees cooler than it was this time yesterday. We can climb up to 54 in Fayetteville. We're looking at low 50s in the Triangle. And then for tomorrow, we'll see a high of 48 for Veterans Day, and that will be the coldest since 2018, not that long ago. But this one's pretty dramatic. The 27-degree low is the coldest since 1996. So definitely a very cold start to the day. As quickly as that cold air rolls in, we're going to see warmer temperatures. Highs will be in the 60s. Now, we'll still have some chilly mornings. Notice 37 on Friday morning. Coming up in just a little bit, we're going to talk a bit more about some of the snowfall and who else is seeing some of it across the country.
So we will recover, but Tuesday is going to be cold. Fact versus fiction. It is holiday shopping season, but there are a lot of fake deals online. Today on WRAL News at 4, what to look out for so you don't fall victim.
And a new climate change model. Researchers have created one that acts as an early warning system. On WRAL News at 5, how it could help communities like yours prepare before disasters hit. It is open enrollment season, and scammers are taking full advantage trying to steal your information. The important signs you need to look for before you sign up.
Also, a company marketing a new line of skincare for children as young as 3 years old. What health experts and parents are saying about these products. It is open enrollment season. Scammers are taking advantage of the opportunity to steal your information. 5 on your side's Ashley Rowe shares what you need to know before signing up.
It's the peak of open enrollment season, and scammers see it as a great opportunity to steal your information. They'll ask you to verify personal information. Specifically, they'll contact you by phone or text and ask for your medical card number and social security number. They'll tell you they'll enroll you in a better, often cheaper plan. Asking for personal information is a huge red flag. Never give anyone your government-issued numbers, and don't trust anyone who contacts you offering cheaper coverage. If you want to make changes to your health care plan, go through the official website or contact your employer. As we always say, if a deal sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Ashley Rowe, 5 on your side.
Costco is recalling about 1 million bottles of sparkling white wine over concerns about potential bottle breakage issues. The recalled wine is sold at Costco under its brand name, Kirkland Signature Valdobbiadene Prosecco. Hope I pronounced that right. The bottles were sold from April through August of this year and are green with purple foil and a purple label. Well, you have a picture so you know what it looks like. The manufacturer has received about 10 reports of bottles breaking or shattering. One person was even cut.
Yeah, I think some people more concerned about the drinking of it than pronouncing it, right? Well, a new healthcare resource is now open in Garner. WakeMed is officially opening up its new primary and urgent care facility at Middle Creek Crossings on NC 50. WakeMed says this will be a resource for patients to seek walk-in primary and urgent care appointments 7 days a week. Hey, job hunters, just a heads up for you. Today is the 3rd annual State of North Carolina Career Expo. This event is for North Carolinians from all education backgrounds and experience levels. They'll be able to explore job openings at 34 state agencies and public universities. The expo is at the Sheraton Imperial RTP on Emperor Boulevard in Durham, and that runs until 3. You can register online.
As we brace for an Arctic blast of cold air, a cold snap already hitting the Midwest. We'll show you how places like Chicago are under freeze alerts and how people there are coping.
Also, the face of a government shutdown. The story of a TSA worker in Arizona now facing eviction from her apartment. And here's a look at your winning NC Education lottery numbers. Good luck.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
An early taste of winter is bringing storms, dangerous road conditions, and bone-chilling temperatures. Right now, more than 80 million Americans are under freeze alerts. NBC's Shaquille Brewster is in Chicago, where nearly a foot of snow fell in just a matter of hours.
Hi there. Well, you're seeing this fresh layer of snow here in the Chicago area. It was not as much as we expected, but still enough to cause somewhat of a slick commute this morning. And of course, there's those images that we saw overnight as it was really coming down really throughout the Midwest. Some cars that were stranded and stuck. But really, the one thing we're focused on are these temperatures. I feel it on my face right now. The wind is really whipping, and it's more than just the Midwest chill that we talk about, but these are cold temperatures, a cold Arctic blast that's really stretching much of the country from the Midwest all the way down to Texas. That is something that we're definitely watching for, some unusual and unseasonably like temperatures, something you would expect more for December and January. And something else that we're continuing to watch as we're expecting another band to come through of lake effect snow through the Midwest is the impact that it will have on travel. Of course, we've been talking about the impacts that the government shutdown have been having, slowing down flyers. Well, this is something, and talked about the wintry mix, this is something that could also have that negative effect on travel. But for now, you have people out here along the lakefront, some running, enjoying it in some cases, but really bracing for this Arctic air that the Midwest is dealing with. Back to you.
Enjoying running out in that. Oof. Could you imagine? Well, here at home, a white flag alert was declared for tonight and tomorrow, too. And these alerts are issued when the temperature drops to 35 degrees or below. These shelters provide a safe and warm place to stay overnight. Local shelters will welcome men and couples, single women, as well as families with children.
It's absolutely serious. There is a freeze warning for tonight. We know it'll warm up later this week, but it's absolutely a concern, especially for folks who might be already, where their immune systems are already down with the cold weather and weather changes, but very important to get people inside.
Please take this seriously. And because this is serious, we have a list of white flag shelters available on WRAL.com.
We are working to learn whether teacher call-outs will affect learning in Wake County schools today. On Friday, schools prepared for mass teacher absences. And that's because of a call on social media to protest budget issues and increased health care costs. The call urged teachers to call out Friday and today. The Wake County Public School System told us Friday's call-outs did not have an impact on operations.
TSA officers have gone weeks without pay, and reality has set in for so many of them. Bianca Buono spoke with one TSA worker who now faces eviction.
I'm still considered a newbie.
Martina Santana has been a TSA officer for 4 years, and it's a job she is proud of.
Everybody wants to work for a federal government job because it's stable, it's steady, it's good money, it's a good job.
But that stability has become shaky as the government shutdown is now the longest in U.S. history, meaning for the past 36 days, this single mom of 3 has gone without a paycheck.
All of us were like that the first couple of weeks. So we're saying, okay, first 2 weeks, we're going to, we can do that. We can do that. We got some money saved up. We can do that. The second paycheck that we didn't get, I think that's when it started hitting me.
She's had to pull money out of her thrift savings plan, a retirement plan for federal employees. Then 2 weeks ago, an eviction notice.
I normally pay half my rent with one check, pay my car, my other bills with the other one, and then I pay catch up on the third month. It's always like every third month I have to split it up. And this month I gave him the letter that we were supposed to give, and nobody, not one of my bill collectors, not one of my car payment, not one of my anything except that it can do anything for me.
She's talking about this letter from the Department of Homeland Security asking organizations to give federal employees grace.
They do have like a job fair at the airport. I picked up an application for another job.
As she navigates these hardships, she's still showing up for work, even working overtime, as some of her colleagues struggle too.
They're coming to the point where if I'm not feeling good, I'm not coming in. If I don't have gas, I'm not coming to work.
Air traffic controllers are also not being paid right now. And when there's a shortage of controllers at airports, it leads to flights being delayed. Santana is trying to maintain a positive attitude for herself, her coworkers, and her kids, hoping the shutdown ends soon, but committed to keeping travelers safe in the meantime, asking those travelers to be patient.
Just come with a good heart, because we're trying. We're trying to do our job. We're trying to keep it light and get you guys through, but we still have to do our job. And with the less people, it's going to take a little bit longer.
Such a challenging situation all around. Now, from TSA workers to airline pilots, a Southwest Airlines pilot shared a message with passengers while idling on the taxiway.
I don't really care what your political persuasion is, but you should really call your senator. Right now, it's going to cost about 2 hours of our lives on the ground before we even take off. Spend all that gas, all that money, and it just rolls into the rest of this system.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy has said that an end to the government shutdown would not immediately restore air traffic controllers because it will take time for workers to return to work.
Skincare for toddlers. The backlash against a new skincare line created for children as young as 3 years old.
And exercise beyond your sport. Why just doing the one sport you love may not be enough exercise to help your entire body. Now remember, you can watch WRAL News live anytime on WRAL.com or the WRAL app on your streaming device. You're looking live at Fenton, where they have the ice skating rink all set up. These next 2 days, it will feel like skating weather with our winter-like temperatures. You're watching WRAL News, available on Spectrum and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device. Get this, a new skincare brand for children as young as 3 years old is facing serious backlash. The company called Rini was created by actress Shay Mitchell and two of her friends. Rini means children in Korean. It's dermatologist tested, hypoallergenic, vegan, and cruelty free. Mitchell says it's not about beauty, but it's about self-care. Some parents and healthcare providers don't agree.
At age 3, the only thing I think we should be considering is getting them into a little habit of being clean and just hygiene.
When it comes to using preventive skincare products, doctors say kids should wait until there's an issue when their skin actually changes, then target their skin with specific products.
One Texas teenager is pumping up fans and overcoming obstacles as his school's mascot. Anthony Lopez is a high school freshman born with autism and ADHD, but he's defying the odds as Sally the Mustang on the King Cheer Squad. His father, Carlos Lopez, says it's a longtime dream for him.
He loves the music, he loves the game, he loves being part of something.
He is just like the best teammate and mascot. He's so sweet. He's always making sure we're hype, and the crowd loves him.
Doesn't love the mascot, right? Anthony is also breaking barriers off the sidelines. He plays baseball, he bowls, and is a member of the school choir. Anthony's teammates say that he is an inspiration, and it's a reminder to, quote, never stop trying to do what you want to do. I love that so much.
Oh, thank you for that reminder. Octopi therapy. Chances are you've heard of occupational therapy to improve health and well-being. How a crocheted octopus is helping premature babies feel secure.
Plus, a dapper-dressed teenager captured attention all around the world. The event that helped him become a viral sensation.
The number of dogs and cats euthanized in shelters statewide is starting to tick back up. It's a harsh reality that's tough to think about. In tonight's WRAL investigation, Sarah Kruger explores the why behind that and what's being done to turn it around.
Anytime we talk about an animal being euthanized, it is a tough topic, but there is hope as well in this story, and that is that euthanasia rates at shelters are still down from where they were about a decade or so ago.
In our investigation that airs tonight at 6, we're looking at which shelters have euthanized the most animals, which have euthanized the least.
Back. As we wrap things up, here's a look at a few of the headlines we're following today. The suspected shooter accused of killing a Wake Med campus police officer is still in the hospital. Benji Martin Jr. is accused of killing Officer Roger Smith on Saturday morning. Garter police say Martin also is suffering from a gunshot wound. They say he'll be taken to the Wake County Jail once released from the hospital.
Officials are working to identify a body discovered in the Tar River. Rocky Mount police say this morning multiple agencies responded to a call about a person floating face down in the river off Falls Road. The Swiftwater Emergency Rescue Team recovered the body, and investigators are trying to figure out how that person died. Anyone with information is asked to call police.
Raleigh police are trying to find who's responsible for smashing windows and damaging several cars outside an apartment complex. This happened at the Pines of Ashton apartment complex off Holston Drive. Police say they got the first call about the break-ins around 3 this morning. So far, they do not have any suspects in custody.
So one of TV's most beloved children's shows is celebrating a birthday. Sesame Street turns 56. The show was the brainchild of Joan Cooney. She hired Muppets creator Jim Henson to create a cast of characters for the show. Big Bird, Cookie Monster, Elmo, Bert and Ernie are still very popular today. And the Count. The new reimagined version is set to premiere on Netflix later today.
Sesame Street will be streaming. A 15-year-old fan of Detective Sherlock Holmes is now an internet sensation. A photographer for the Associated Press snapped a photo of the teen standing outside the Louvre Museum on the day of the Crown Jewels heist. He and his family had taken a trip to visit the museum that day and asked police officers why the gates were shut. Well, the photographer snapped a photo of the interaction, and soon family and friends from around the world started calling. The photo has been viewed more than 5 million times on TikTok.
Most of the people will first thought this is AI and then say, no, Felicity is there. It's not AI. If its mom is there, then it's, a proper picture. So that's fun.
So he's 15, but dressed like that, he kind of looks like he's like 30-something, right? Yes. He began dressing in this style less than a year ago. He says he was inspired by old photos of suited statesmen and fictional detectives. By the way, the only item that has been recovered in a crown the thieves dropped during the escape.
First of all, you can't catch me. I know for a fact that has had to be some kind of That's such a cool outfit. That's like that's something you see on Netflix, like the Great Louvre Heist, and that's the main character right there. Yeah, 15-year-old, nah. I know a promotion when I see one. It'll come out some point.
It's like, was he an inspector, some officer, just somebody undercover there? And he totally looked like a detective.
That's what you call main character energy right there.
Keep up with that style. You're trailblazing there.
Well, our pets of the day are a bonded pair of guys ready for their new home. You've got Butter and you got Scotch. Showed up at Love Mutt's Rescue. Someone's going to adopt them just based off the names. Well, they showed up in July with long matted hair. The vet believes they are brothers or father and son, not quite sure. But Butter is about 8 years old, while Scotch is estimated to be 5 years old. Both are very active, playful, and bonded. They're great with other dogs and children. They travel in the car well and are excellent at the groomers and on leash walks too. They look like a Maltese mix and will need regular grooming care. Keep that in mind. If you're interested in Butter and Scotch, you can fill out an application, and you can do that at lovemuttsrescue.org.
Oh, hope they can adopt both. Butterscotch. Shopping season scams, AI and social media ads are making it easier for people to get scammed. Coming up on WRAL News at 4, what to look for and how to protect yourself.
NBC News Daily is next on WRAL with your next local news update in about 30 minutes.
You can get breaking news updates anytime with our WRAL News app. Have a great day, everybody.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.